looking down from the heights that we have built all by ourselves. And there is fear of the unknown, but we cannot lose control when we feel like the world is against us. We're trying to find ourselves without the defining words. We can no longer hold on to what only makes us hurt. We cannot sink into the dark. The vertigo is getting sharp. There's something greater than ourselves that we must reach for. Now which way do we go is the question to ask. There are so many choices that it's hard not to look past. What is real and what is fake, and the risk we have to take. Will we know what is throwing off our balance? We're trying to find ourselves without the defining words. We can no longer hold on to what only makes us hurt. We cannot sink into the dark. The vertigo is getting sharp. There's something greater than ourselves that we must reach for.
Welcome,
Hello,
welcome.
CF1 Twitch. We're both talking because the excitement's just really raising through us, folks. It's time for the Western Regional Playoffs here, folks. Beanies and Steidel joined alongside me as we got ourselves a barn burner of a matchup to start us off today. And it's going to be the Cal Poly Pomona Broncos taking on the San Jose State University Spartans. And Steidel, I'm very excited for this because unlike the other regions that have multiple groups, this is one group in the West right here, and they've played each other time and time again, and these two are no strangers to each other.
Not at all. Like I've got the screenshots of the score sheet from their last matchup up right next to me now. I mean, 13-8, 12-14 for those first two maps. It just looked like Cal Poly kind of sputtered out towards the end. Their last map not too great for them, but regardless, Cal Poly is one of these teams where I like to call them the quarter team, where sometimes they show up, it's heads, and they win. And it's an amazing show of talent and what their players can bring to the table. And sometimes it lands on tails. And it seems that just like things aren't connecting, the synergy just isn't there, or maybe the shot calling is a little bit different. But they're going up against the Titan. I mean, what is this? 11-2 across two splits for SJSU. They've only lost to Cal Golden and UC Irvine, and both of those teams in this region have just been running rampant.
Especially UCI, and it's good that you bring them up actually because Cal Poly is fresh off the last game of Split 2, took down UCI in a 2-0 matchup, I believe. So very much Cal Poly riding this momentum here into the postseason. But for anyone who didn't catch our Central or Eastern regions postseason matchups, let's explain the rules to everybody so you know what's going on here, folks. We have ourselves 3 regions across North America competing in CF1, East, Central, and West. The top 2 teams from each regional playoff will advance, and that means the 2 finalists competing in each regional final. And then once we have our 6 total teams across the nation, we will have our grand finals where we will be giving out a $10,000 prize pool with $5,500 going to first place, $2,500 to second, $1,500 to third, and $500 going over to fourth. Now, Steidel, we have ourselves a little bracket here to show the audience. We have a chance to show them what we'll be looking at for today's matchups. And as you can see, folks, it's going to be Cal Poly Pomona taking on SJSU and UCI taking on the Cal Golden Bears on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see who winds up in these finals because, like you said, with the Western region, these guys have been playing each other for a long time. So it's not like the Central or the Eastern regions where when you get to the finals, it's going to be 2 teams that they may have seen each other in other tournaments, but here at CF1, they haven't done a lot of fighting. So in the West region, your playbook's got to be deep. And that's what we're looking for tonight out of Cal Poly. They've got to bring something new to the table, something fresh, something practiced, something polished in order to take down SJSU.
Yeah, and SJSU has been a team that I've been hyping up ever since we started doing the power rankings with CF1. And I thought SJSU was really a focal point of this team consistently was Choi Boy, a player that we highlighted, and I want to bring up again to the audience. There's someone who I believe ranked in the top 10 of North America at one point. I want to say rank 8, but don't quote me on that. But nonetheless, Choi Boy consistently playing the sentinel role for this SJSU lineup and being the IGL for the squad. So very much so lurking in the shadows, manipulating the other 4 members to performing at this top level that SJSU has consistently been playing at. But on the other side of the coin, when we have a chance to look at the Cal Poly Pomona lineup, they really like to play around Teddy, who loves themselves not only Rays, but the jet duels as well.
Yeah, if you look at the 2 maps that they were able to take off of Cal Poly last time they met, you see a trend beginning where Fig and Teddy are very often at the top of that leaderboard, fragging out, getting picks, being those duelists that get there first and get those first bloods. And coming into this match, I did want to ask you a bit of a question. We've seen SJSU bring Nasian on that Astra, but that doesn't seem to be a strategy that Cal Poly has really been pushing towards. You think that might be a deficit or an advantage?
See, that's where it's a little interesting, Scheidel. I know Astra is really a divisive character to some people. I personally really enjoy her and think she brings a lot to a team. But something that people don't really enjoy with I guess, the tactical FPS element of the game is the fact that you don't get to control Astra for a certain amount of time. You know, when you're putting down your orbs, even though you do get vision across the entire map, and you are essentially a puppeteer looking down, you aren't able to return fire. You are essentially a sitting duck. And a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people like the ability to play Brimstone, which, you know, may have a similar issue, but it's a lot less noticeable. And then Omen, which is consistently able to just pump out smokes at such a fast rate, they had to nerf the speed that the smokes travel. So it really lends itself to, you have to be able to put these smokes down in advance as Astra. You need to have the placements of them in mind. And I say smokes, but I should be saying orbs, because not only do you have the smoke, but you have the concuss and you have the vortex as well.
Stars.
Which all these exactly beautiful stars and all these useful utility based orbs that you can throw out. You gotta make sure you have that pre-planned, almost like you would see a Viper player with their lineups pre-planned, with their mollies pre-planned. So if we do see an Astra coming out, I am expecting it to come from that SJSU side. Cal Poly, even though they haven't really shown to be playing with the Astra too much, it's not going to be to their detriment. But personally, I am a massive fan of Astra's ultimate. I believe I'm forgetting the name. It's off the tip of my tongue. Like the Galactic something. I think it's Galactic Divide, because that's what I wanted to say. But that ultimate is so incredibly useful. Oh, I can't go on and on about that. But Steidel, we're going to be getting into map 1. It's going to be Ascent, folks. Ascent was, in fact, the choice of the Cal Poly squad. They did go with Ascent first, and SJSU did pick their defense. And Steidel, look at this. The defense already has 4/5 of their composition ready. And even though there's no Astra, it's looking like a well-rounded set of agents.
Yeah, I think right now they're talking over what they might want to do for that smoke agent. You see Nasi hovering over the Omen. Could go to the Astra. We'll have to figure that out. But look at how quickly Ketchup Spicy locked in that Reyna. I mean, that's something that we see frequently, just wanting to aggro in. And honestly, SJSU is going to need to look out for this Cal Poly Reyna, because it's going to be coming in hot. The rest of the lineup?
And that, what I want to point out real quick, sorry to cut you off, is that I love how fast they locked in that Reyna too. An agent that can be so divisive, an agent that can be very feast or famine. Cal Poly knew no matter who else we picked, we were going with this Reyna pick. And as the clock ticks down, Shiloh, we're going to be getting our final lock-ins here. Party Kid going to be whipping out that Raze. Going to be seeing the likes of a Killjoy come out. And at the end of the day, the only differences we're going to see across these two teams are the duelists.
Yeah, and you know, I'm looking at Party Kid, and I'm just gonna put it out there. We did see a couple of how do I phrase this? Rockets into walls. Last time we saw them in this matchup. So, you know, it's been a while. They've been able to practice those satchel charges. I'm expecting some clean rockets from Party Kid. Other than that, it's going to be really difficult for SJSU to kind of hide around in places like Wine Cellar and stuff on defense with those paint shells.
Yeah, paint shells are such a crucial ability coming out of the Raze, having the grenade, being able to clear out any corner, or even, which I see more effectively used, is stopping a fast push on a site.
Yeah.
Typically, when you're on the offense on Ascent, you'll see teams go for that B site push. I think B site is just a shorter route and a lot shorter duels what you can take with the pistols. But Cal Poly setting their sights on A for the early part of this. And what I want to look at early on, shout out to the Frenzy still showing up big, even though Frenzy meta may be dead. It still lives in the hearts of the few who hold on for remnants. And ooh, Odd taking out Teddy, who had bought the first round Sheriff. Fortunately, Nazi is going to pick that up, so it's not going to be too much loss for the team. But SJSU going down the member already is going to open up the door for Cal Poly.
And it looks like they're giving a bit of a feint in mid, where they want to make it look like they don't have any presence, like they're not going to do anything. But Choi Boy on the lurk, looking to get a free pick, with the smokes and the turret that have come out from Cal Poly are just completely stopping this.
And Steidel, that Sheriff is really a force to be reckoned with. Party Kid getting sprayed through the smoke, going to get dropped to 19 HP. And you can see that even though SJSU does have a numbers disadvantage, when you take into account the health bars, that disadvantage can turn to an advantage very quickly. As long as Omen doesn't get too frisky with it. That 1 HP in the Dream is a little tough, but, you know, all it takes is just... Yeah, exactly. It's a dream. Oh, no. That's what matters. And you still have Fig coming up big with one shot. No, could not finish off the kill after the headshot. And as Cal Poly wins the round with broken HP, they still get that round win. That's what matters.
And it's a difficult situation for that post plant retake for SJSU. I mean, they know exactly where both of your members are, so they don't have to leave anybody towards C long to cover the angles. They can just kind of swarm the site and force you to push in and make yourself vulnerable. And the fact that you're already low on health makes that so much more difficult. I mean, coming into this anti-eco, I feel like SJSU needs to get a little bit of momentum early, or this could start to get out of hand.
Yeah, you know, you don't want to get, what is it, count your chickens before they hatch. Because we have seen some crazy round 2 eco wins. Bonus or not, you're still coming in with usually not a full shield, and with that considered, these classics in melee range can still be a threat with the right click. Unfortunately, though, you're not going to be looking at your targets. You're looking at the ground, you're looking at the sky, and Cal Poly are setting their sights onto A site. The exchanges coming out way too fast to even get the spike down. Unfortunately, they won't get the money, but Cal Poly still getting the round win.
And what a beautiful setup there by Aloha as well as Spicy Ketchup by throwing in the Leer and the Deafen in different places, so that if they look away from the Leer, they still get hit with the Deafen. If they look towards the Leer, everybody's coming around that corner to take them out. Classic melee range doesn't matter.
Need this.
Well, now we're going to have our first looks settle at assault rifles coming into play. Cal Poly going to have a few members with them, but they are in the fortunate boat of being able to go with this bonus round, folks, for those of you who may or may not know. When you win those 2 rounds back-to-back your 3rd round, you're able to just go with some submachine guns and try to take whatever dubs you can. But Teddy actually going to drop Ketchup, and Steidel, that was one of the members who had actually full bought from Cal Poly.
Yeah, and they used that paint shell early to clear out Catwalk towards trees, just so that Ketchup could move up. Losing that, not only do you lose the member, but you use the utility you used to get them there. So now they're going to have to play a little bit slower. You can see that B covered by Killjoy utility. It's going to be difficult to get anything explosive done there. And no power in mid, so CPP, they're kind of battling uphill right now.
Party Kid doing a nice job at getting the cooldowns out of Choi Boy's Killjoy, who tries to swing but does not get the trade in their favor. Going to be taken down by Party Kid on the Spectre. But Teddy here lurking in Boathouse, folks. It's the hash-slinging slasher, and they're coming for your head. It's going to be 2 members left of Cal Poly. Site, and now they have. I was going to say was it's going to be even harder. 1 on 3, and that's going to be SJSU picking up the scraps and getting their first round in the game.
And you can just imagine what would have been possible if this Ketchup Spicy had been able to make that push into mid and stop that rotation a little bit better. A good start for SJSU, but they're going to need more than a round to take this. And they looked a little bit shaky. You know, they had that retake, and had Disco had a rifle, that would have been a lot dirtier than what we saw. I mean, they stacked a little bit, which is something that you never want to do coming around a corner. Good on you to swing together. Just need to make sure that you're not giving away free collaterals at the same time.
I've seen High School Musical, Steidel. We're all in this together. Don't forget about it. Yes, they followed that moniker as well, and unfortunately it bit them in the butt. But
I'll let that slide.
Exactly, you let it slide because the song is great and the dance is even better. SJSU. SJSU on the defense, though. You can see there's a little bit of indecisiveness on this B site. You can see 3 members huddled up back towards that CT, leaving the 2 remaining defenders on A site left alone to handle what looks like an A push from the 4 members lurking towards A site for Cal Poly.
Nasi is
Smoke
just going to
coming out.
continue using the smoke, just taking time off of the clock.
That's what's important here. The defense is going to be playing for that time. The offense is the ones who have to worry about getting the spike down. And there's 40 seconds left to get that done. Well, you're going to see 1 smoke thrown to cut off the Omen, who throws a Paranoia. Going to be swinging out the smoke. Killjoy turret's going to be causing a lot of damage. Nazi reading the recon bolt to perfection. Going to be getting 2 kills. And Choi Boy putting on the best Jet cosplay you've ever seen from a Killjoy. Picking up 1 frag, from the judge. And then CPP is going to be leaving their hopes of this round with their raise. Unfortunately, Teddy puts a stop to this party, kids. Remember, there's a noise complaint after 11 p.m.
And can we just highlight the bravery from Nasi on that play? Backed up just enough so that they were inside the opposing smoke, had the patience not to fire to give away their position, and then waits for the recon dart and doesn't emerge, doesn't make the mistake of being a little bit too greedy, stays in the smoke, gets the couple of kills, and then waits for the rest of the team to get on point to push forward. Beautiful play there from SJSU.
And that's what defense comes down to a lot of the time, is having the right patience. Remembering that the offense has to bring the fight to you no matter what. You can hold the angles. Sometimes ego gets the better of ourselves, and you can see that's actually going to get the better of Party Kid, who does not find any kills with the rocket. And that was something we talked about, Shido, wanting to see Party Kid pick it up with their showstopper usage, and already going 0 for 1 at the batting cage with that first ultimate. But Aloha stepping up to the plate big here for CPP, going to be swinging the round back to an evened out 2 versus 2 at the agents. And importantly, CPP has control of the spike.
They've got control of the spike, but there's an operator sitting in between them and the site. This is a really difficult task. Oh, but the miss 4 health. It's now a 2v1. Beanies.
4 health, 4 head. Get out of here before you get dropped, Teddy. CPP know that this operator is going to be living by just a strand of HP. I'm picturing from Hercules, you know those old ladies who cut the string and end your life? That string for Teddy right now is hanging by one single fiber with that 4 HP.
Oh man, Teddy, they can get the Omen here. They'll have the ability to swap over to the Classic for the second kill. SJSU leaving their Omen to watch the stairs, and now they're going to have smokes for time. Teddy's going to have to be brave here.
Bravery and stupidity are very close to one another, and we'll have to see which one Teddy gets to claim. As the smoke is not going to be cleared out. Teddy waiting for the frag. He's going to be finding one. Gets the double, or gets the kill with the Classic, excuse me, a triple overall. And that's going to force Aloha to not give the kill to Teddy, which ends the round for Cal Poly getting the W, but Aloha giving up their life.
You know, you take some, you give some. You know, the balance of life.
Aloha's still full bot, you know?
Yeah. You know, they still have all the money that they need, and a little bit more. And if they can continue to keep up the pace, their bank's going to be looking pretty good. They need to get this next round, however, and they have to win out against this really speckled buy from SJSU. You see Operator, Rifle, Judge, as well as Spectre.
Hey, Joy Boy on that Judge don't mess around.
It's very true. Expect them to be holding tightly here on the B site, probably by the boxes.
Ooh. Oh, Teddy, that was a smart choice right there. Holding the op shot, cannot find the kill, but not getting baited by the Killjoy bot. Not going to give away their position with that. As Aloha scouts out with the From the Shadows, going to be finding a little bit of information, returning back to where they came. But Steidl, this A site, while it looked like a good choice at the start, Cal Poly counting their chickens, going to make sure that they don't overcommit as the whole defense is basically rotated.
Oh, they've even drawn out the Hunter's Fury there from Gray, but they wish they hadn't. That's going to finish off Ketchup Spicy and put it down to a 3v4. And right here, Beanies, Cal Poly is stuck. They don't have a lot of information on who is at what site for SJSU. And it's going to be a while till they can get that. Good pick, though.
Oh, I mean, Aloha giving out some information. Ooh, that's going to be a Hunter's Fury. No kills. A zoning ultimate, we'll call it Steidl. Leave it at that.
I believe they got the alarm bot out in mid, so now that's going to scare them away from this mid push. They have to go back to A, but SJSU is just lying in wait here at the trees. Right.
Oh, the choke could not get the kill. Ooh, that's going to be a paranoia. That's going to be a cloud thrown out. It's the operator left on the site. You don't want to be here. You got to hit the shots if you're going to be making these moves, Teddy. No kills to be found from the operator out of SJSU. I hyped it up just a little bit, but George Boy with this Judge. I mean, look at the fight. Look at where this distance is right now, Steidl. This is exactly what a Judge wants to fight in, but you got to find... Oh, that's going to be one kill, and look where the other two are. That could be the lockdown. That could be Joy Boy getting the clutch, but you got to make sure you don't get too excited. Oh, that's a kill. Joy Boy looking for the third. The lockdown's going to come through, but does he have the time? Odd is playing around this timer, playing around it, just waiting. But the lockdown is going to get destroyed. Odd peeked at the perfect time and comes up with the kill on the Joy Boy, putting the hopes and dreams of that clutch to bed.
And man, Choiboy really lifting their weight on the team right now. I mean, beautiful plays there. And I'm a little bit I'm not necessarily questioning it. I get that you have to leave your lower health member out, but real sad for Party Boy. Didn't really get much of a Party Kid. Didn't get much of a chance to kind of respond to what Choi Boy was kind of bringing to the table. But look at the economy here. Regardless of how cool that looked and how awesome that was, that Choi Boy got a 3K. SJSU can't buy anything. They have to go with marshals and pistols into this round.
And you know what, Stidle? With those marshals and pistols, they're going to be bringing the fight to the defense here. Or excuse me, to the offense. At the defense, trading out a kill piece 1 for 1. Make that 2 for 1 now, as the gun advantage from Cal Poly is going to be showing itself a little wider. But Disco, look at that, being a great teammate, tossing out the spike so someone else gets the ultimate charge. And that's ult economy at its finest, my friends. Lockdown comes down as the spike goes also.
Oh, and Fig thought they cleared out that little cubby next to the market, but it didn't happen. SJSU just walked into a fully prepared Cal Poly this round. I mean, you can't ask too much. They are running marshals and pistols against rifles, so if you're not right up in their face or catching them by surprise, you're at a bit of a disadvantage. But 5 rounds on the board now. Economy in a situation where if SJSU doesn't win this round, they're going to be right back to where they were last round.
That's incredibly important for the SJSU squad, especially with the investment they have, or have made, I should say. As you correctly point out, this economy is going to be very much in shambles if SJSU can't pull out the round win here. Is a little bit of aggressiveness here on the B site, and they're going to be rewarded with some crucial information. 2 members to be spotted here, and now Teddy hoping to have some free reign. Cannot land the shots, though.
Yeah, Teddy's got to be hitting these shots on the operator. I mean, you're the jet player, the one that's able to get out quickly. You're relying too much on Fig. Good trade.
Fig with a big kill right there, showing off the spray control, the burst potential of the Phantom. And as we have a 4 versus 4 left out here. Crucial difference is that Cal Poly have to take this without their smokes available. And that can be very much an aggravating thing to do when you have to go up against Nazi, who still has the smokes, who just used the paranoia. And this is slowly but surely falling apart at the seams for Cal Poly. But Ketchup keeping it spicy with the shots, with the kills, and with the Empress still active. Getting a little bit of information, but the Empress is not going to be as useful from this range. This is where the Empress doesn't matter, and Bear is going to be showing up big, getting the big old double kill, and getting the spike defusal as well, as SJSU wins a crucial round for themselves.
And that's a big recovery. I mean, you expend a lot of utility over at B. You push Teddy up early, misses the shot, doesn't get that, has to use the dash to get out. And so you decide, okay, send Teddy to mid, keep the operator sights there. We'll push them that way, hopefully. And then go ahead and send Thigwerb over on the side. And Thigwerb's only able to get 1, and there isn't the secondary swing coming through from Teddy because they don't have the dash to get there. So you end up losing off on what could have been a really big barricade for SJSU to put up. Luckily, and gratefully, the team was able to kind of bring them out of that little hole.
Ooh, that's going to be a missed shot, missed opportunity, but still alive, and that's what matters. Gets out of dodge. Smart choice, but Teddy might be overstepping their bounds. What are you doing there, kid? Gonna be missing the shot, giving up the op, but that's gonna be a traded kill thanks to the run it back ×2 with the flash. And as the Clone War trades are coming through, Odd gonna be taking down their opponent in Sova duels. Cal Poly taking a step back, taking a moment to breathe here as they're down 2-3 in agents with a minute left in the round.
And you're hoping for something aggressive from SJU, but you're probably not gonna get it. They found their corners. They left their Omen on B. They've got sights down on mid, and they're slowly rotating their Phoenix Thig into the back here for a quick rotation to whatever site gets hit. Nasi, go ahead and take the back of sight a little bit better just in case there's a quick push coming out from Cal Poly. And with the setup of Killjoy, they don't really have the option to go to A. B has to be where it is.
Scanning ahead.
Oh, that's going to be a trade, but the trade goes in favor of the defense, folks. And even this, the damage trade, the numbers game, it's all going in favor of SJSU and Cal Poly. They have 24 seconds left on the clock, and Odd, who has the spike, going to be throwing it down, but it's just a bait. Just trying to get cooldowns out, trying to see the movement, trying to see if he can get a kill. Finds one. No, doesn't even get that. They stepped in front of one another, almost like tanking the shots for a second. And SJSU get themselves their 4th round.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good. They're gaining their momentum back. You can see that Cal Poly on their buys here, they could go for some Spectres, but they're recognizing that SJSU's got kind of a read on what they've been doing the last couple of rounds. So they're not going to be as susceptible. They need to be able to have that economy for next round, so they're just going to go ahead and go with the pistols. But I expect them to do a bit of a split push and just kind of wait for any aggression to get that close quarters combat.
Ooh. Oh. Woo! Woo! I'm just getting anxious watching this happen right now. It's like a little bit of foot just shows, and it's like, are they gonna take the shot? Oh, Choi Boy though, look at the judge! What's that range? Choi Boy getting a 2-shot and a 2-piece with the judge. And I said it before that this was like Jet cosplay for the Killjoy, but I'm starting to think that Jets are just cosplaying as Choi Boy with a judge. 'Cause my God, just carrying the round here as SJSU even it up at 5 apiece.
Flawless round. I'm talking about momentum. They're keeping on building it. Now they've got an economy where they can lose a round and still be able to have no worries about investing fully. I mean, Judge, Jury, and Executioner. Those are the titles for Choi Boy, if I'm being honest. I rarely do you see somebody at this level of Valorant so frequently decide to go with the Judge. I mean, back in the Bucky meta, sure. You saw that quite often for, the quick buys. But just opting to go for the Judge just because you know you can get value from it.
Paranoia thrown out. Just a defensive cooldown though. Nazi just being protective over their teammate is odd. Gives away Silva's location, but also gains some intel. The op is exactly where it's been every other round. Holding off that B long sightline, and from the shallows coming out, not going to be gaining too much from that. So one ultimate already going to be thrown out of the window here by Cal Poly. I believe it was Cal Poly's Omen.
Get out of here.
Ooh, and that's one picked off going across mid. Party Kid trying to play spoiler with a second. But do they know Bear is on the catwalk? Do they know the Silva is going to be ready to return fire?
They're going to know
Both
pretty
teams
soon.
step away.
What a wonderful lurk from Cal Poly. I mean, put the presence towards B like you have consistently. They're going to make those rotations. And then from there, you just kind of patiently wait for them to get aggressive in mid like they have every single round.
Ooh.
30 seconds left.
Spraying through the smoke. Bear going to be dropped right there, actually. Going to be left with a 2-person defense. Make that a 2-person defense now, excuse me, as Party Kid does take down Nazi. Quick Man couldn't count those numbers, but we make up for lost time, and Teddy going to be showing off a little bit of math right there. 1 kunai to the head is going to be an elimination, folks. Ooh, the lockdown's going to be coming out soon, though. You got to watch out for this cooldown from the Killjoy. It's going to be used, and there's a moment to breathe for the retake.
And not only a moment to breathe for the retake, but now Cal Poly can set up and get real up and personal. Yeah, I mean, they just kind of barrel stuffed the door. Wasn't much that SJSU could do on that one. Cal Poly just had their number the whole round.
And that doesn't really feel like a good way to use the Jet ultimate. Usually you want that to have the maneuverability of a little more open space. But sending your team all through trees just felt like a little rushed choice by SJSU right there. Maybe they just felt like the clock was ticking against them a little too much, and they end up making a risky choice. But they have a chance to still end the half with an evened out tie in the round score. Cal Poly coming in as the underdog of this game, going to be stepping up big. Already have 6 rounds, guaranteeing a tie going into the second half. But they are looking for that 7th round win against a dominant SJSU squad.
Look at how quick this rotation is from SJSU right now. Odd's going to go ahead and punish it a little bit. Going through the middle, finding Bear. No Silva left. No Hunter's Fury online anymore for SJSU, and that's huge, Beanie. This operator's going to have to do extra work.
No! Teddy dashed into it! It was Party Kid reading Teddy like a book, knowing exactly where the dash was going to go. The tailwind. And now it's going to be left up to Choi Boy. It's going to be left up to the Omen. And as the lockdown's going to come through, a risky choice to walk through the Killjoy Molly, but it guarantees the usage of its ultimate.
remaining.
And that's going to make Nazi get a kill onto Aloha. The counterpart of the clones going to be getting a kill. And oh, look at that Party Kid sniffing it out. But this is all that they need for the defuse. And it's really going to be Party Kid trying to beat the clock, trying to get there as pros don't fake it. And that's going to be Choi Boy not only getting the defuse, but getting the frag as well. SJSU end the round tied 6-6.
I feel like they were a little bit salty about how that round prior went, being kind of forced off of the point on what was gonna be a good retake with the attacking Killjoy. So they just came back that last round and were like, "Fine, you guys want to do that to us? We can do it to you too. We can use our lockdown and force you into the engagements that we want to take." And that's exactly what we saw. Beautiful job there. I mean, you don't have the angle for the paint shell. You have to commit more, and if you commit more, Choi Boy is ready for you. Back to pistols.
Yeah, we're talking of Choi Boy, but look at this. Nazi top fragging alongside Teddy, and we even highlighted Teddy at the start of the broadcast about being a player that SJSU like to play around. This is a deadly duelist, but when Nazi has the chance to really hold down the line of sights that defenses get and play passive, get the trades, get the retake kills, that's where we see Omen really starting to find some utility. As it's going to be a B site hit from SJSU's offense, wasting no time. Look at Teddy, understanding that Teddy only had a few HP left to give. It's going to be Riyadh having to take on the world and going to be giving up 2 kills. That is SJSU, as Cal Poly gets to retake with a numbers advantage.
Not just a numbers advantage, but look at the health advantage. SJSU might as well have 1 player on the board. I mean, Cal Poly has a hurt Reyna, but you get 1 kill, that health comes back. That's no biggie. Dr. Stefan, this should be a pretty easy retake for Cal Poly.
Enemy remaining.
You say it's easy.
Enemy
Nazi!
remaining.
Oh, Nazi! Playing with the smoke, but the alarm bot, it's down. Not going to be checking, though. The Reyna, not going to stick it. And Spicy, the bluff was called. And it's just a game of liar's dice here, folks. But unfortunately, Spicy doesn't play games. Spicy just wins rounds. And that's Cal Poly taking the pistol here in the second half.
And that just shows you the power of that update to Reyna, where you no longer have to find the final shot onto somebody, because just peppering in a little bit of damage gives Ketchup that extra leer. You get to devour, you get to grab that extra health, come into this with a little bit of an overheal. And now you're finally back up on the HP game. You get into that 1v1, and you're not too worried about it. You can peek those angles aggressively. Oh, I'm totally down for it. I know exactly what Odd's doing. Sadly, SJSU not gonna bite the hook this time around. To get some information on that pretty quickly. They're gonna see this owl drone, and that's gonna mark the dinner bell.
Down A.
Wow, Thig picking up 2 frags with the Spectre. SJSU buying out here after a losing round. Incredibly risky, but look at that. Already, Thig is going to be using have the run it back available to them. Not using it just yet, but a second round of the half ultimate for the Phoenix here. That's a massive power play in the hands of the offense.
Not only that, but playing so quietly, SJSU has effectively spooked Cal Poly. Look at how their members are spread up. When they decide to blow onto this point, it's going to be a rough day for Cal Poly. I mean, Party Kid and Rio, they're just not close enough to help.
And the patience from SJSU is incredible. But the go button's finally going to be hit. The run it back's going to be thrown out, clearing the site of not only cooldowns, but hopefully going to be clearing out of agents. But Disco, with a late peek, not going to be giving the run it back the time of day. And as the spike goes down, Cal Poly has to retake with a numbers disadvantage as Party Kid wins the trade against Choi Boy, but dropped to just half HP. Oh, and a beautiful shock arrow puts him at 4 HP left. And SJSU with only 2 members on the site, one of them at incredibly low HP. It's going to be just 1 left here, going up against the retake, and that's going to be 1 eliminated, but it's going to be the Ares. Oh, Bear barely getting out of dodge, and that is incredible! The jump shot arrow kill from Odd, put it in the montage, Mom and Dad. Cal Poly getting their second round of the half.
I feel like Odd's been playing Overwatch to practice their solo play here. You got the jump shot. Into there, getting it in with a little bit of style. Let's look at that. I mean, jumps off the high ground and completely commits. If they peek there, you're done. Your shock dart may go out, but they'll kill you and they'll get the win.
Yeah, because that shock dart was a little far back. So if we had seen the likes of a Bear step up a little further, or just a little sooner, I should say, then that wouldn't have hit at all.
Mm-hmm. Very gutsy play, but it's going to pay off, and now Cal Poly are able to kind of, not really, I wouldn't say set things off to a good start, but that's exactly what they've done. They've killed it here, and one more round is going to gain them massive momentum on this defensive round for them. I mean...
Oh. There's a judge that's going to be blowing up some heads, but not going to find a kill. Nazi going to be taking down Party Kid, actually. And I was actually going to compliment Party Kid's ability with the grenade, but I didn't even get a chance to because SJSU has stolen the attention of not only us, but the entire game, as they are dominating this eco round here. 4 members up against 2. The spike is going to go down. And most importantly, multiple guns from Cal Poly are ending up in the hands of SJSU members.
You're done.
Well, you got guns, but you're going to need shots. I mean, Ketchup Spicy's about to come in here on this run, and if there's any hero that can kind of solo this out.
Oh no.
Didn't see him.
Oh, that was so nicely played there. So nicely played. You could see how Choi Boy was using the doors of Boathouse to avoid line of sight. Didn't even give an opportunity over to Spicy to try and make a play happen. And as you saw, a nice time by Thig to show up, secure the frag, and SJSU. Just like we saw in the first half, I will say, Steidel, first 2 rounds going over to Cal Poly, but SJSU winning that 3rd round of the half.
And as much as I'd like to see that trend continue, overtime is going to have to end at some point. and right now, SJSU...
Does it?
Yes. Yes, it does. I'm putting my foot down. Right now. Cal Poly really needs to kind of respond in kind to exactly what SJSU did. Put the economy back on their side. Get a little bit of a detriment to the mental of San Jose State and start getting them to kind of second guess their pushes.
That little bit of info gained by Odd was enough to keep SJSU from really trying too much. But they're still teetering on the idea of going towards a B site. Spicy trying to see the same kind of magic that SJSU had last round given to CPP this time around. But Teddy with the beautiful angles, and look at the flash, the coordination. Steidel, you can't write a script better than that right there. Thig alongside the jet from SJSU. Perfect coordination, taking control of the site, not giving up a single agent life. But as I say that, Party Kid gonna put that to bed and take down Choi Boy and give a gun over to the defense here for what looks like an incredibly difficult retake, Steidel.
Party Kid's got a weapon now, and that's going to even things up a little bit. And if Ketchup, already able to find that 1 kill and has the information on the Sova. Oh,
and that's going to be 1 kill from Party Kid. Thig is going to find the other. Party Kid, the only one left, and they have the Phantom, a big, useful tool. But SJSU has the numbers, and they have the time. And as the spike is going to be ticking down, Party Kid going to look for the exit frags, finds one. Thig is going to be dropped. Nazi returns fire. Gets out! No! Cannot hit the TP in time. Honestly, though, I think the TP wasn't far enough either. But SJSU evens us up 8 rounds apiece.
And it's really big that Cal Poly didn't allow for any members of SJSU to come out of that alive. Yes, they're still going to be able to buy all the weapons that they want this round, but now you've put them into a similar situation as yourself to where whoever wins this round is going to have a massive boon to their economy and a massive advantage because of it going into the following round. So this, for me, effectively, this round is a 2-round, it's a little bit of a duo. If you win this, you're going to be able to do well next time.
Come on, let's go.
I agree, at least on paper, Steidel. We have seen crazier things happen, but all things considered, this should be a massive round with implications for the rest of game 1.
Oh no.
Oh, Odd, I'm sorry we got that on stream, bud. I'm sorry.
I blame Party Kid.
Throw the blame on Party Kid, why not? Looking through mid here.
I think they have security in mid, but this alarm bot is going to make it difficult for SJSU to get any sort of presence here, and it's important that Cal Poly is able to do that, because now they just sit their Sova right behind where that alarm bot is to shoot through the wall if it goes off.
Oh, Teddy actually getting hit with some friendly fire paranoia. And Party Kid with a crucial showstopper. Going to be getting an opening frag, but that first blood's going to be traded back for 2. It's just like the pick'em system. 1 for me, 2 for you. Leaving just 3 to take on the remaining members of Cal Poly. And Odd being one of those members. A star player of this Cal Poly squad here in game number 1. Going to be taking down Choi Boy. Leaving us with a 2 versus 2 on site. The flash into the smoke, though, by Thig is absolutely massive. And that gives the numbers advantage on the site to SJSU, who just need to play around these remaining health bars that they have. Sitting at about 75 HP. Enough to be taken down in a 2K, in a spray. If Odd has the target reacquisition, that's going to be massive. Goes for the jiggle peek. Does not find a kill. Finds a little bit of damage. Can't find the first shot. Just going to be danced around. Dotsy-do, around you go. Left with nothing to talk about. Because Thig is going to win the round for SJSU.
It was so close there for Odd. I mean, you have to wonder if that shock dart had made its way into the archway. There were 3 members of SJSU standing there at that time. Could have tilted things into their favor, but you know what? The past is the past, and hindsight is 2020. We're gonna have a sparse spy coming in from Cal Poly, and this is what I'm talking about. Now SJSU has a massive advantage on this attack as far as they have the range. They're going to have a little bit more damage. And as long as they can stay away from these members of Cal Poly that are rocking these judges, they'll be okay.
Oh, no. Oh, Party Kid. That's an unfortunate, I guess, location for the satchel charge. Didn't get enough oomph on that. Couldn't bounce into the smoke to avoid any shots. Cal Poly going to be losing 2 members, actually, as I say that. On what is essentially an eco round, as Stylo pointed out. Last round, SJSU sticking to what it says on paper. You win that round. That forces an eco. You're going to win out the eco. But Odd, trying to put up a fight, only gets 1. And as the spike's about to go down here on B site, Cal Poly going to be grasping at straws with just the judge in the hands of their Killjoy.
Yeah, I don't know if you're really going to go for much here. Find yourself a good spot to hold up and then hope they come hunting for you and you can grab a couple of exit frags. But San Jose State are not going to be satisfied with 4 kills. Look at the hunt going on.
I feel like I'm watching like a video game where you're the main character having to sneak away from like a compound you were kidnapped to or something like that.
Yeah, where's my box?
Oh, that's not the kind of trade you want to be taking. Classic versus Vandal. I think I know which one's going to win that, but Disco, not even toying with that. You know, we can't even hear the spike ticking at this point. Is Disco
It happens soon.
giving away their location? Ooh. And you know what? Even taking the armor off, costing 1,000 credits, it can add up. It can add up. And as Choi Boy loses a little bit of armor.
Phantom.
And the Phantom, Disco, making the best out of a bad situation, could be setting up Cal Poly for a nice swing back.
Yeah, now they're barely able to buy out, but they're able to do so because Disco can share that money around. And now you see both Spicy and Odd have a little bit of money left. That's something that Cal Poly's done to make sure that going into the next round, as we're hitting the 11th round, we're getting close. There's only 3 rounds left for SJSU to win. So they want their big fraggers to have a weapon in the next round, or at least have the economy to have one in the round after, in the 12th or 13th.
Ooh, Aloha. Gonna be sniffed out with From the Shadows coming out. Gonna get a little bit of info. Saw, I believe, only 2 people over at the A site, so not much intel to be gained outside of the members that are there. Ooh, and I love when Killjoys do this title. I'm a massive fan of the bait with the lockdown. It's going to be forcing members off the site, drawing attention to B. And that's going to be when we see the 3 members over at SJSU's A site make some damage. No! They swing it over, but they cancel the TP. The mind games, the levels here from SJSU are through the roof. But could they be too much? As we see Teddy going to get dropped, giving the advantage in numbers over to Cal Poly. But crucially, the site is in control here of SJSU. And the running back is in a very risky spot, I'm going to say. But a nice satchel charge bounces away any threat from Thig. The Hunted Fury is going to be thrown out. 2 members going to be dropped. Oh my gosh, everybody! It was fish in a barrel, Shidle! And with Ketchup being the only member left standing, There might be some other condiments on the CPP side after this round because Ketchup is going to be taken down. And that's going to be a little bit of salt for CPP. And SJSU had themselves 11 rounds on the board.
And you got to give credit to where credit's due. Cal Poly didn't fall for the bait. You know, they kept members on A. They were able to find that opening pick, but just weren't able to kind of finalize on it. It's difficult when you do get corralled like that. Everybody has to rush from B to A, and you don't have anybody sitting mid to let you know that that's a safe place to go. So you all have to go towards heaven. You get corralled there. The Hunter's Fury comes online. It becomes chaos, just trying to escape it. You're not able to check your corners or hold your angles anymore, and San Jose State can just kind of walk on in.
Oh, Teddy. San Jose's not just walking in, they're busting down the door with an operator shot, taking down the smokes from CPP, and losing your Omen so early on makes it so difficult. Going for a retake without smokes puts a lot of dependency on your flash, on your information gain. And honestly, when you only have 2 members who could fill both those roles, retakes are going to get really, really difficult for Cal Poly. So they need to find some trades. They need to find a kill or two. They need to do something to just ease the burden that losing your smokes has.
And look at this pace change from San Jose State. We've been seeing them be extremely aggressive. But here towards the late rounds, as the pressure begins to build on Cal Poly, they're just waiting. They're waiting out the clock until the final moment and forcing Cal Poly to make snap decisions, not allowing them to use any information for these early rotations. They have to expend utility without knowing where San Jose is.
Party Kid gonna be dancing around the lockdown, playing bodyguard as Nazi gets dropped. But Party Kid putting up a heck of a fight, trying to protect the lockdown. And look at that! It draws so much attention that the trades are actually coming through in favor of CPP for just a moment. And as the Empress is thrown out, it's gonna be a 2-on-1. Teddy can't land the killing blow. Now gonna be playing Dotsy-Do, run away, please. But this is not how you deal with the Empress Reina. You can't take separate 1v1s, but you can peek when she's stuck on the defuse. And that's exactly how Nazi wins out the round and sets up SJSU for game 1 point.
And they get the operator back. It's a big boon for Teddy.
True.
Teddy gets their boomstick.
Good point.
Speezy likes to call it.
Boom!
It's a good start
Here comes
for SJSU. I mean,
not.
it gets tricky at the beginning, but once they've kind of
SSX
discovered
tricky?
out on a little bit. But the defense has been really struggling for Cal Poly. They haven't been able to establish themselves or kind of put up a presence, and this is that flip the quarter kind of thing about the team. It's just, it doesn't seem like it's connecting right now.
They're going to be getting some crucial info. Odd, though, having a good idea of where people will be standing in this situation. Spicy is going to be getting one. The Ketchup taking them down, but Teddy responds, throwing up the Blade Storm now, trying to pose a bit of a threat to their opponents. As the spike gets planted, and Cal Poly being very cautious on this retake here, folks. Remember, 1 more round is all SJSU needs to win game 1 of this best of 3 semifinal matchup. Choi Boy make it a heck of a lot closer to going in favor of SJSU, but that's going to be Teddy actually taking the spotlight, getting 1, getting 2, and that's going to be the final killing blow coming out from SJSU's lineup, and that's going to be San Jose State University taking game 1 in our best of 3.
And they looked really good on that attack round. If they're able to kind of transition a little bit more stability on the defense round, they're going to look a lot cleaner than they did, which is saying something because they looked really good. I really wanted to highlight Choi Boy's positioning in that last fight. Holding towards the attacker's spawn makes it very difficult for any of the defenders to entry onto the point. You add an operator to that mix and a jet with the knives, it becomes nigh impossible to get across that small little gap if you don't have movement abilities like the jet dash or the satchel charge from the Rays, and none of those were online. So rough situation for Cal Poly to get put into, but good on San Jose State for forcing them into that position.
And even to that point, Choi Boy doesn't get the same kind of value if we don't see Teddy following up and getting a kill after the fact. Because of the pressure that operator provides, they become a prime target, and that lessens the priority on the Jet, on the Sova, who can then capitalize and take advantage of it. Fantastic play by SJSU across the board. Cal Poly, as you said, looked much better in that first half, but their defense, left something to be desired. And as we look ahead to game number 2, after just a short break, everybody, don't go anywhere because we have to find out, are Cal Poly taking us to a game 3, or is this going to be a 2-0 for the Spartans? Welcome back to the broadcast, everybody. Beanies and Steidl here, and we're bringing you game number 2 of San Jose State University taking on Cal Poly Pomona. And San Jose just won Ascent at a score of 13-8, which was Cal Poly's map choice. And now we move on to map number 2, which is going to be Icebox. And Steidl, Icebox was chosen by the likes of San Jose State University. And they have a good record here on this map.
They have a fantastic record on this map. I mean, last time these two teams went up against each other, it was 13-3. Now, granted, that was kind of in the beginning of the Viper. Hold on, got a doggo here. That was in the middle of the beginning of the Viper Sage meta on Icebox. So, curious to see if either teams are going to bring that to the table. But the big part here is that last time they came to this, Thigwarp went to go play the Sage and Party Kid, respectively, for Cal Poly, and Thigwarp just had so much more of an impact. Kill-wise, wasn't dying as often, and the walls seemed to be a little more predictive. They had a little bit more of a feel on how they were playing. Now, last time they faced off together, it was game 3, so stamina does come into play at that point. So I'm interested to see what Cal Poly can get on the revenge here, a little fresher.
I mean, there's 2 separate kinds of revenge. Not only do they have to get back the loss they had on Icebox, but now they got to get back even in the series. Because the winner of this series not only is going to move on to the Western Regional Finals, but the winner of this series also guarantees their spot in our National Finals. That's going to be happening next weekend. So you don't want to make sure you don't miss out on the opportunity to get into that sweet cash or I don't want to say cash, misspeaking. Don't know the exact format of the money given, but you don't want to miss out on that $10,000 prize pool, because that is very much a desirable looking prize, especially that $5,500 in first place. Hooey, mama! That's very tasty. Exactly, La Mula. And as we're just waiting to get ourselves into Agent Select for our second map of the series, possibly our final map of the series, don't forget, chat. We always like to throw up predictions in the beginning of our games. Make sure you're wagering those channel points on predictions. Make sure you're getting involved, talking to people, talking some trash, hyping up your school. If you're feeling friendly, give a follow or a sub over to the channel for CF1, because we got ourselves quite the lineup coming up this next week, as playoffs are coming to an end this weekend and nationals are shaping up next weekend. And before we can even get there, actually, I'm getting very excited, Steidl. We got to get through this agent select. And SJSU are wasting no time right now locking in these agents, and it's exactly as we expected. This is the same exact lineup they ran last time.
The one thing that I'm liking the most about this from Cal Poly is Aloha. We don't get to see the Sky that often, but played at a high level, that Sky can become such a nuisance to go up against because of the versatility that you can find from that hero. Wasn't in the roster last time they met, so it's a bit of a wrench into the gears for SJSU if they're looking to kind of see the same Cal Poly they saw 10 days ago.
A Party Kid. That's an interesting choice. So Disco no longer going to be playing the Killjoy, going to be swapping onto the Sage. There's going to be a Raze, so a double duelist, and you got the controller from Viper to be your smokes lady. And I mean, if Party Kid has the lineups prepared, this could be a new spicy look for CPP that gets them their Game 2 victory. Before we even get ahead of ourselves, let's focus on this pistol.
I don't want Cal Poly to get too ahead of themselves here, because although the Viper Sage is really effective, it's also really readable. You know, it's not a kind of plant that you can do freely on both A and B. It's a pretty small space that you can pull that off and make it as effective as it's supposed to be. And a team like San Jose State knows those defaults. So you have to be able to bring something else to the table with the Sage and the Viper, other than plant, wall, Viper Venom. There's ways around those. You have to be able to bring something else to the table.
And not seeing Party Kid on the Raze is an interesting time. But hey, change can be good, my friends. As Teddy going to be starting us off with a first blood trade out by Ketchup. 1-for-1 overall given up here. The site's going to be looked at, possibly taken over. No, not just yet. The defense for San Jose State University is looking very good. They have the HP advantage, as it's going to be a nice shock arrow. Beautiful by Bear, going to be taking down Disco, who had the spike. And that's going to leave Party Kid, the lone member standing with 70 HP, having to get a 2-versus-1 victory.
Oh,
shock arrow forces
the
him
shock
out.
darts.
Gonna have to push through the smoke or put it down. Nobody to be seen. Oh, it's like a do, a merry-go-round. And they don't know where the remaining member is.
I
Choi
wonder
Boy.
if they think he went B or A. I wonder if they're gonna take this
That's
fight.
the patience. That's the mind games. But Party Kid gonna be playing a move on it. And not finding the shot onto Choi Boy. Able to reassign their target onto the the Viper's head. And that's gonna be SJSU winning their first pistol of the series.
Little achievement pops up on the screen. First pistol round. Good job. And man, if we had just seen Party Kid wait just a couple of seconds or a second more, SJSU was currently in the act of rotating towards the A site. They thought that Party Kid had just abandoned, the B site altogether, which I thought would have been a good play. Pop the Viper wall, make them think you're still there, and run over to A real quick. But a good read from SJSU. Not gonna find much from Cal Poly on that dart. Not a lot of information, but they know that the site's relatively free. But a quick rotation from SJSU.
It's gonna be the Sage ultimate. Almost said Cypher wall. God, mixing up abilities, names, agents. You tell me it, I'll forget it. But not Choi Boy remembering exactly what you need to do, but forgetting about the grenade coming in from Aloha is going to give Cal Poly a little bit of a chance to breathe here as they look to take B site for the second time and maybe be more successful. But Steidel not having that Sage wall fully healed up really puts a wrench in a lot of the B side executes that we see.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about how predictable this can be. You see a team run Sage Viper on this map, you know the Sage wall is going to be there. So Choi Boy just sits there with a light machine gun and decimates it the second that it pops up. Puts a big kink into the works, and now Cal Poly have to fight this extended gun battle that they weren't looking for.
Oh, there is making that extended gun battle a little bit shorter. Teddy also helping out in Disco. Just going to be giving up their life here. Round going to be going over to SJSU as they have 2-0 to start off Icebox.
Either that or a possible disconnection from Disco. That looked a little fishy the way they were walking. Not sure about it, but they're going to be able to prep for a gun round this time around. So the defense the attack gonna have a little bit more of a bite to it, less bark. But a really sparse buy from SJSU. They're just gonna go ahead and take this as a bonus.
Oh, I think you're right there, Steidel.
Yeah, I think Disco may have disconnected. Is that what Disco stands for? I'm kidding.
Oh my god, really? You're gonna do them like that? They already disconnected? You really gotta throw them under the bus on stream? Oh.
It's all good fun.
But we got 2 minutes on the countdown clock here, folks, as Disco just gotta get themselves back in the game, hopefully. A nice quick reconnect could be all that's needed. For the last, with the 2-0 being in SJSU's favor, this is new ground for them. Not in the sense of having a lead, but having a lead this early in a half. Both halves, of Ascent. We saw Cal Poly take not only the pistol, but the following round as well. So with SJSU going into this third round with a lead, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle the bonus and how much they can take out of the hands of Cal Poly here, who, as you see, folks, the buys are coming in very broken, as even Spicy can't afford a full armor. But if anyone's not going to be able to, it's going to be Reyna, who can easily fill in that gap.
Yeah, and the bonus round that SJSU is currently presenting, and mind you, we are still on the tech pause, so they could possibly purchase weapons or some more rifles in this situation. But if they go ahead with the bonus, that's really good for Cal Poly because you're up against the ropes on your economy. You're in that spot once again that's starting to become a little bit too familiar, where you're leaving your bank at sub 1,000 for the team. Most members sitting at 100, 500 maybe, so 1,200 in total. Forgive my caster math, but it's difficult to be in that situation and go up against rifles because it's an even battle. But here, you have the advantage as far as weaponry goes to take this round. If you lose this round, it's going to look really bad because SJSU is going to have a lot of money and you're going to be left on pistols.
Yeah, that's where the whole I guess, snowballing effect of Valorant really takes place, which is, you know, not similar to how other games snowballing may work. You know, Valorant is a lot more of a slow burn. You win these first 2 rounds, well, now you win a 3rd round. You win this 3rd round, well, that 4th round gets a heck of a lot easier. And after you win that 4th round, the 5th round has a lot of pressure on it, because if you win that round, then Cal Poly has to go into another eco, and it can just get so overwhelming here. And so Cal Poly needs to stop the bleeding as soon as possible. And hopefully that bleeding stops with Disco reconnecting here, as the tech pause is going to go down a little bit towards that 0 marker. I do believe that if needed, Cal Poly can dip into other pauses available to them. I don't have the exact rule in front of me. But nonetheless, hopefully everything gets sorted out here as we have a 5 versus 5. Because that's what matters, folks. The even field, the even battleground. And Disco being a crucial member of this team on that stage.
Yesterday in the central region, we had Kixer who, on Ascent, was like connecting and disconnecting across rounds to the point where if he like moved from spawn, it would disconnect him. So he just sat in spawn for a couple of rounds and bot for the team. So yeah, we can get some interesting things out of these situations.
Oh,
but there it is.
Disco
Disco's back in,
Let's
picks
go.
up the spike. We should be heading in very soon here, ladies and gentlemen. We do apologize for the slight break in the action, but we are back.
You can just call us a Kit Kat broadcast, because we had to break us off a piece of that. But Cal Poly, they're gonna be looking to get themselves a piece of a dub here. Got to get a number 1 on that board. The 2 rounds in favor of SJSU is going to be, as we mentioned during the pause, going to be a problem very quickly if it's not stopped, or nipped in the bud, I should say, as Teddy gonna just keep causing issues for Cal Poly. Aloha, the straggler left behind, not gonna fulfill their role and gonna be eliminated very quickly.
Spike planted.
So good job from Cal Poly on covering your back there, just in case they had pushed a little bit further. They do have a member prepared to take that fight.
Oh, nice trade though. Nazi going to be entering on the site because they only have a sheriff, folks, and that leaves Teddy to pick up 3 kills. Even the Aries joining in the fun, but Bear securing the final elimination here for the defense. Now SJSU, we said it before, they win this 3rd round. That 4th round title is looking a heck of a lot easier.
Yeah. Easier is one way to put it. Almost guaranteed is another way to put it. I mean, you're going back.
Sheriffs are wild guns, okay?
Sheriffs are loud guns, but there's so many angles on Icebox. It's much more difficult to kind of pre-aim for the head on a lot of these angles, because you're having to equate for not only head height standing on the ground, but there's boxes and so much for people to kind of work their way around. And the aggression from SJSU on this defense isn't going to allow for Cal Poly to set those up.
Oh my god, Teddy just bringing the fight to the offense. And just like that, Ketchup is going to be getting a kill.
Shut up.
And that's going to be a gun. But Steidel, SJSU could bait that gun. If they have a lineup on the gun, which is going to be cleared by the bot, that could play into the favor of SJSU, who have themselves an evened out kill here. Oh, but just like that, we do see Ketchup Spicy, excuse me, going to be getting the assault rifle and possibly clearing a pathway for CPP.
That shark dart was so close to getting Nasi. It doesn't matter. Ketchup Spicy in the back, gonna find the kills, and now it's a 2v2. But Nasi has no health here, and they've taken out the Sage, so Cal Poly has to feel pretty good about this situation right now.
One enemy remaining.
Well, the paranoia is gonna be guaranteeing the 2-piece for Choi Boy, which, you know, we should say, Steidel, SJSU did have a little bit of a tougher task in that round than we might have thought, but they still get the round win, and you can just see the economy, but we'll take a look at that after the replay, because Choi Boy, this is teamwork, this is coordination at its finest. The paranoia from downtown, setting up the 2 kills from Choi Boy, and that means a 4th round win for SJSU.
And the economy for SJSU is in such a fashion that even if one player comes out of this with no kills and they lose the round, they should be able to have a pretty decent buy coming around the next time. So you're not too worried about getting aggressive. You're not too worried about taking those early fights. Cal Poly, however, need to find some sort of way to respond in kind to this aggressive play that San Jose State's bringing to the table.
Oh, Teddy! And that's exactly what you want with the operator. Ketchup just swung and stood there a little too long. Didn't go for the quick peek, was looking for a trade, possibly a kill, but unfortunately they are the victim. And this leaves Cal Poly with a little bit of a question mark for how to approach the rest of this round. A nice teleport, but not nice enough. Aloha reading it like a book, going to be picking up the kill on site for Cal Poly, evening out the odds at 4 apiece. And this is the best chance we've seen Cal Poly have of the round, as they have just one member. Nope, scratch that. The spike is going to make its way on the site. And Aloha going to have to put their best foot forward with the showstopper, but no kills to be found. And Choi Boy starts the retake off with a bang and gets dropped immediately.
They got the knives out. Teddy's looking for him, but the crowd in this corner. They see him! Exxon! Able to find that opening and second kill, but they've still got one member left. Beanies, it's a 1v1.
Yeah, but look at the lineup. The Molly's on there, and it's just dropping SJSU Sova lower and lower. And Bear, too preoccupied with the spike and the utility, gets dropped by Party Kid. Cal Poly getting their first round on Icebox.
Can we talk about how Party Kid preemptively canceled the Viper ult to have a clear shot? Knew that the Molly had done its job.
Oh, you mean the Viper Orb? Or the Viper Smoke, I should say?
Yeah, the Viper.
Because they're only at 6 out of 7.
And boom.
Yeah, look at that.
Right there. Lets
That's
it drop.
confidence, Shiloh.
Peeks as it drops. And takes the kill.
That's confidence. That's mind games. That's game sense. That's game theory right there. And that's a round win for Cal Poly. That's JSU. We mentioned Steidel. The economy of the San Jose State squad is not in shambles with one loss. Heck, they could take another 2 or 3 losses at this point and they'd still be looking fine.
They're looking pretty good for this setup over onto B. Default with the good job, Cal Poly. A good default here. But the Choi Boy's ready for it yet again.
That was so beautiful by Choi Boy. The patience paid off. And look at the pincer of 4K for the Killjoy out of San Jose State. But it's going to be a possible ace. Just going to need to put the classic to work. 20 HP left on odd. Nazi, though, going for the kill secure. And San Jose bouncing back after a 1 lost round to get themselves 5 on the board.
I mean, I don't know if somehow Cal Poly's playbook got leaked. Or, you know, if SJSU has just done that much homework. But look at this positioning. Just waiting off-site in a different position to catch that May wall. This time, it doesn't have the LMG. Isn't looking to break down the wall and disrupt the plant. They're looking to get up close and personal on the opposite side of the wall. This time, able to capitalize on a lot of kills. And Choi Boy, top of the leaderboard, SJSU. About to hit 6 rounds if they take this here.
Oh my god, Teddy, my heart can't take this. You have an operator, bud. What are you doing that close? A little bit of a standstill. The wall going to be dividing the 2 teams. Thig, though, going to be picking off one. Teddy dropped with the operator in hand. A nice shot by Odd with the Sheriff off screen. But Thig, the center of attention here. Playing around their wall. Finds a kill. Going to heal up. Battle Sage into full effect. But Disco had the height, had the high ground. Trying to get the gun, though. Choi Boy knew exactly what the plan was. And that's crucial because the spike is in clear sight of the defense. Nod's going to have a tough task of getting it. But they know Odd was there. He just yoinks it, but the wall's going to be falling, my friend. You got to get out of dodge now. You got to turn and run. And no! Bear not going to give him a chance to run and hide. Odd staying true like the warrior they are. Putting up a fight and dying trying.
And now you're starting to think this might be time for a pause for Cal Poly. The snowball's beginning to happen, and this isn't just a They did, but I mean, this might be a pause, not for figuring out some technical issues, but actually being able to sit down and go, okay,
you know what? I'll give you
let's
that
break
one.
down what's happening. What is SJSU doing that is disrupting our play so much? Which the answer is they're being aggressive and they're taking these early angles. And what can we do about that in counter? And in response to that, you just need to be a little bit more protective of yourself and a little more careful when clearing out these sites, because multiple times SJSU has been able to bring out lurkers from unexpected angles.
Enemy tag.
Woo! Nothing to come of it. Nazi just going to get sniffed out, but not going to be eliminated for the effort. Thig standing next to this Reyna. Gonna be trading him out. Oh my god, they did an outline of the Reyna's head. The left, the right. Couldn't find the kill, but Choi Boy, the rock of this team here on Icebox with the Killjoy, gonna be picking up the crucial frag, evening out the odds. Is Bear just trying to put a wrench in the spike plants of the offense. Going to actually get a shot down onto Sage. So worthwhile. That arrow heading up in the high ground, gonna be smacking back down somewhere on Earth. We have a brief pause with the Killjoy ultimate. Going to be putting a timer onto the offense, actually, who have to deal with this or get out of the area. Disco just bringing the fight right to him. Gonna be dropping one. Does, in fact, get a nice kill onto the lockdown, and the spike diffuser was killed. SJSU have to play around their Sova. He's getting the HP back. He's going to deal with the Riper, but that can't get the kill. That's going to be Bear left with one bit of HP remaining, and they're going to have to try and get the defuse. Shiloh, I don't think the defuse is going to come through. No, he gets it! 0.46 seconds remaining, and San Jose State University had it calculated all along.
And I mean, I really do like how Cal Poly played that engagement. It came down to the fact that Nasi decided to turn up the heat a little bit. That round for SJSU, tired of being on the bottom of the leaderboard, wants to get themselves a little bit higher up there. And because of that, you lose a couple of members. But how Disco played that wall was absolutely perfect. Was still behind the box so that if they'd shot through the wall, they themselves wouldn't be susceptible to it. But then once the wall was about to break, broke it themselves and pushed in, gets the opening kill, then takes down the lockdown.
Oh! Teddy just dropping one. The blind showstopper from Aloha style is going to be taking down another, and now the Spectre's putting some work in. And overall, it's 3 for 3, but the offense has the HP advantage. Oh, I spoke too soon. Oh, no! Odd, don't do it to him! I can't believe Odd pulled that one out. That came from nowhere. But Bear doing the same exact thing, also going to be showing up from nowhere, taking down 2 members, and Odd, the hero from the earlier play, only has 5 HP. And Bear going to be showing off exactly how easy it is to kill someone with 5 HP. A body shot, a leg shot, a toe shot, whatever it is, San Jose State gets the round.
And right now, Beanies, this is really starting to shape up pretty much exactly like the last time these two teams met on this map. I mean, Cal Poly really need to find something to get going. These last 3 rounds of this map, or this round, this half, are crucial. You walk into halftime with a 12-1 scoreline, or an 11-1 scoreline, not too much work has to get done by SJSU. All they need is a pistol round win. If they get the pistol round win, they get put into the anti-eco. They get the anti-eco win, they win the map.
Oh, no! I can't believe Teddy didn't dash away from that Steidel. That's the craziest part of the whole exchange. Hunter's Fury not going to find its mark. And the offense still going to be hitting the go button. That revive was crucial in letting them still do this, and that's why he saved the dash, my friends. Gets one, going to be giving up their life in response. But after a slew of kills coming out specifically from Aloha, it's going to be left up with a 1 versus 2. Nazi. He's behind to be on the flank here, and he has to keep quiet. Jumping up is very risky, but the movement is precise here. And the Omen is going to be looking to penetrate through the Viper's pit. Now remember, the decay here is going to leave Nazi in single HP territory. 47 life, that's 1 bullet from either of these guns. As Nazi knows, you have to balance that HP. You have to balance the drain. A fully kitted out HP and armor set. But this maze by Nazi, they just can't find the remaining members. And you gotta think it's really gonna start weighing on them. But the paranoia's so perfect! But Party Kid and their teammate, the Sage, gonna be turning around, just spraying and praying at the paranoia, and they get the kill. 8-2. San Jose State's still up, but CPP, a crucial round.
And that's what I wanted to see from CPP. It was a different setup. They approached the point differently. They still used the combination of the Sage wall and the Viper's Cloud and Venom to secure a plant and hold it really successfully at the post plant. And it completely baffles Nasi. Nasi has to check every single corner on that point, and the longer it takes, the more information Cal Poly actually has about where Nasi most likely is.
Oh,
pick.
no shot, no kill. Teddy cannot get the op to land. And Cal Poly are grateful for that. Oh, a leg shot. Excuse me, misspoke there, and that's even more painful to deal with. And look at this, Odd stepping up to the plate, getting 2 frags back to back, aiming down sight, make it look pretty. Choi Boy, the only member left on the defense to try and retake the site against 5. I mean, you know, I've seen crazier things, Shiloh, but you gotta start with something, and Aloha nips in the bud before it can even begin. The flawless from CPP swinging momentum back in their favor as we have 1 round remaining in this first half.
I feel like this is that moment in the anime where you like the players getting beat up and then they unwrap their hands and just drop a bunch of weights. I mean Cal Poly right now, especially Aloha.
Versus Gara?
Yeah, there you go. Aloha just has turned it up right now, and it's kind of leading Cal Poly into better play. Being able to rely on Aloha to get these picks is allowing them a little bit more freedom. Oh wow.
Teddy getting a little aggressive there. Thig also, and this is looking a little different from San Jose. They're not winning the same aim duels that we saw them in the first part of this half. Taking out. Oh, and Choi Boy, they know where he is. Not looking good here for the Killjoy. And now, Nazi going up
Marshall
1 versus 5 with a Marshall.
Spike planted.
If this happens, I want to see it in a montage. But again, Party Kid's the one to put the fun to an end. Cal Poly, they start off weak, but they're ending this half very strong.
And they needed those 3 rounds. Like I said, you come out of this at an 11-1, it's hurting. You come out of this at an 8-4, that's not really a score line that many teams are going to be shaking in their boots on. You know, this Icebox, in my opinion, is definitely a defender's sided map. You know, you have 3 choke points in total to get onto the sites. You either go all the way around to B, all the way around to A, or up through the middle. There are no little hallways here and there. So for the defenders, you don't have to watch as many sight lines. You get to be a little bit more kind of sure of yourself while you're sitting and holding the sight lines that you have chosen.
Oh, look at the one chosen by Spicy right here. And it's going to pay off. They didn't expect to see such an aggressive Reyna stepping up. I saw the raise bot and she came to mind. But Cal Poly striking first blood here. In the first half, or second half, excuse me. Choi Boy. Patience, though. That's exactly what you want to see. Getting the kill.
Cal Poly is just in such a good position here, you know? They didn't need the tech pause to figure out how to deal with the aggression from Cal Poly. Now that they're on the defense, they just gotta wait.
You are so
Give Cal Poly enough rope and it'll happen. I mean, give SJSU enough rope and it'll happen. Cal Poly really just held angles. There wasn't anything special or kind of out of this world about that play. It was just solid, simple basics.
Sometimes that's all you gotta do, Steidl. Go back to basics. I mean, when you're down, heck, even 8-4, you gotta take a breath, realize, hey, we're in these semifinals for a reason. We took this team to 3 games last time we played them. So if anyone's gonna be able to take down San Jose State, it's gonna be Cal Poly, who are off the backs of taking down the number 1 in this group, San Jose State. And oh my god, Aloha, look at that. Say hello and goodbye, my friends. 2 kills coming out from the Spectre, and just like that, even the Roomba bot joins in the fun, for crying out loud. Cal Poly, an incredibly quick defensive round here in the second round of the half.
I'll say it again, Beaties. What? There's no information. That was just I really hope there's a couple of people this way. I really hope that SJSU's decided to push mid this round. And dear lord, they wish they hadn't. I mean, there's not even anything they analyzed there. There was some shooty shoot coming out from Aloha, then a big boom, then some shooty shoot coming from Disco, and the round was over. That's pretty much, that's my big brain analysis for that last round.
Well, I'm wondering what the big brain analysis from SJSU side is going to be, because they're facing a string of round losses they haven't seen since the start of Game 1. But Choi Boy looking to take back control of this Game 2 in the semifinals here, as SJSU putting themselves to the test here. They got themselves Teddy, though! Look at that, stepping up to the plate, then backing away, calculated retreat, but Nazi somehow gonna peek out and take down Odd before Party Kid can even return fire. And even though the trade does come through, Party Kid's gonna get dropped, and that's SJSU swinging the pendulum back in their favor. And we've seen time and time again, SJSU have lost 3 pistol rounds and subsequently 3 bonus rounds, but they always get themselves back in the 3rd round of the half. That first gun buy, SJSU is flawless this series.
I just want to point out, Ray, Bear, hit catch up Spicy with the recon dart.
Oh yeah.
So even though
It's
Spicy
nerf or
tried to run away, there was nothing they could do to not be seen. That's the card stacked against you doesn't even start to describe that situation, but a good run of momentum from Cal Poly. SJSU able to put a bit of a stop to it, but it's not over. The economy's still heavily in favor of Cal Poly, and they've been able to get a lot of information on how SJSU wants to play this map and the aggression they want to try and bring.
Oh, Choi Boy just missing out on the trade there with Aloha. Aloha really stepping up to the plate in this game too here. Formerly on the, I want to say Omen in our game number 1 on Ascent. Given an opportunity to really frag out on the Rays. A crucial character that can really bend or break the entire lineup. San Jose State, though, are able to bounce back, rubber banding the aggressiveness that we saw from this defense from Cal Poly earlier on, sending it back into their faces, with Odd also doing the same as Nazi gets dropped.
Difficult situation for Cal Poly, but not impossible to win. No Viper online for SJSU, so the only things you have to worry about are those shock darts.
Oh, he didn't see Teddy.
Nope.
Oh, that's not going to be good, Steidel. They didn't see Teddy, and that leaves a blind spot. And unfortunately for them, Cal Poly cannot handle the surprise peekaboo. San Jose State gets themselves back on track, and they have double-digit rounds.
And if it hadn't been for that good run across the first 2 rounds, Cal Poly would be in a situation where they'd be forced to save, or they'd be forced to buy. Now they're in a situation where they can kind of speculate around. You're gonna see Odd, Spicy both pick up rifles, of course, because those are the big fraggers. But the rest of the team is gonna be thinking a little bit towards the next round. They don't want to spend too much money now because they want to be able to have a good economy and armory for the next matchup.
Oh no, Teddy, look at that. Gonna be getting played with a bit, but able to get out alive. And the aggressiveness from the Jet here is possibly gonna pay off. Yes, it is gonna pay off. It's gonna pay dividends there. It's gonna be a 4 versus 3, even after a Resurrect coming in. So CPP have to fight against the odds here. Fig gonna be throwing in a slow and a little bit of a wrench there, but Spicy able to return fire and get themselves healed up off of the back of that Sage elimination. But SJSU, they have the lineups, they have the line of sight. It's all about clearing out these angles, getting the information. Oh, ketchup! Oh my god, precision at its finest! Toy Boy getting dropped right there, and as the paranoia comes out to possibly free up a way out of here, Disco gonna be sticking on the spike. Gets it halfway, I think. Couldn't tell, but doesn't matter. SJSU are gonna win it off of Bear's kill, and they have 11 rounds on the board.
And now the economy for Cal Poly is a 4 spot. Everybody has to get a rifle here. I mean, it's 11 rounds down. There's only 2 rounds left for SJSU. So it really comes down to, it looks like we might have connection issues there from Aloha this time around from Cal Poly. So we're going to wait for that player to kind of reconnect. But you're put in a situation for Cal Poly to where you're forced to buy because there's 2 rounds left. You can't give anything away. You have to bring a full armory to as many rounds as you possibly can. But the issue that arises is that you don't win this round, you have nothing to defend against for that final round. I mean, it's a tough situation to be in. Do you give up this round and not buy weapons so you can make sure to have weapons for what could be the final round, or do you bring it to their face and hope you win? I say bring it to the face and hope you win because, you know, I think it's a little more fun to watch. I'm going to be completely honest.
I mean,
Tactically,
honestly,
maybe not the call.
I mean, honestly, when you think about it, having the ability to play defense and have a broken buy, you have the ability to establish trades on your terms. So if you're going to have a broken buy, at least you can set up in locations on sites where maybe a Spectre, where maybe a Judge are going to be just as useful as the Phantoms or Vandals are with the one-shot kill potential. So very much so, CPP, even though they are in a very tough spot, I think just going with what you said, like you said, forcing these guns, they have the ability to set the trades on their terms, and they could very well swing the round with just one, heck, even one shorty shot to the head could just swing an entire round. Because you get a gun off that, and then all of a sudden, the kills just start falling.
And you know what the worst thing about Aloha disconnecting is? Look how much money Aloha's got. You know? I mean,
I know,
all that
just-
money just sitting in the bank, not going anywhere. I mean, Odd might have a rifle. Well, is it 3? No, I don't think we can get Odd a rifle, but we might be able to get Odd some full shields.
I hope so. With 6,800 credits, you better be able to buy whatever you want at that point. Crying out loud.
It's 3,000 a rifle and then 1,000 for shields, right? If I'm not
2,900.
mistaken. 2,900. Okay, so 2 rifles takes a good chunk of change out, but you still have enough to buy 2 full shields. Question is, does Aloha want to expend that money right now? Because Aloha can kind of be your savings account or your rainy day fund right now.
I mean, you mentioned it last pause. We saw it with Kixer. Just even if you know your connection's kind of bad, you can be your team's sugar daddy or sugar mama. You know, just you give them money and they return with some round wins, and you know, bada bing, bada boom.
The question is Aloha going to be able to play what could be these final 2 rounds? Still haven't seen the buy. We're going to get another tech pause. Good sportsmanship here. The other team is going to go ahead and use their tech pause to allow for the disconnected player to come back into the match. But look at this leaderboard
We
right
love
now.
that
You know,
sportsmanship.
I really thought Fig would be a little higher up, playing a bit more of a passive role this time around on Icebox. And I say passive, but you know that's relative to the aggression that SJSU is bringing.
And I think it's also an example of who exactly is, I guess, I don't want to say overstepping, but really trading their lives out. I mean, Bear going to be the only one in the lobby with single-digit deaths, and what you can just get from that is the fact that Bear is the one getting the trade kills, not the one trading their life out necessarily. And, you know, even though Sova is a great agent, you would want to see a little more survivability to come out from your Sage. Sentinels in general is a class that thrives the longer they are alive. So just not dying provides incredible utility to your team. But I mean, you know, it hasn't slowed down SJSU very much at all, as you can obviously tell with this score that we got right now.
Well, Aloha is back.
Hey!
Now with that, we're going to see the buy. The full shields go over to Spicy. I feel like a fortune teller a little bit. But Aloha going to be able to save up 2,700 in the bank for the next round. However, for Cal Poly, even if you do win this round and put yourself to 7, you're not putting San Jose State into dire straits. I mean, Nasi might be a little bit wanting for money, but Teddy and Bear are both going to be able to buy in the situation that Nasi doesn't pick up a pick this time around. And on top of that, Nasi's got Bomb and the Teleport online. So SJSU really have to just watch out for Aloha's Showstopper. If they can either bait that out or, you know, make it so that it's nullified, you have a pretty good path to victory. But that Showstopper, in its name, it can put a big dent in your plans.
Yeah, that's the thing with that. I mean, whenever you mention Showstopper, or anyone for that matter, my mind just goes back to the beta tournament clip where we saw the devs versing some famous streamers, and there was like a 4 or 5K Showstopper, and that really just put an exclamation point on Raze as a character in general, who we know can be incredibly overwhelming if used correctly. I mean, you mentioned the showstopper, but Aloha has been getting frags, or setting up frags, I should say, by getting damage with the paint canister down, getting some extra chunk damage onto his opponents, just guaranteeing body shots are that much more deadly. As time ticks down from the tech pause, Aloha still waiting to finally rejoin the game. And just like that, we get to see Aloha step up to the plate.
Oh, that thing.
No, it's going down. Okay, just think positive. It's going to go down. It's going to go down.
I'm sending Aloha my energy, chat. We might need your help here. Send your energy to Aloha to reduce that ping. You know,
Or send in your
showstopper,
bandwidth.
not an easy ultimate to pull off on ping.
Ooh, that's going to be the spike thrown down early. SJSU just trying to make sure all the love gets spread around with the spike control here. Oh, and that's Teddy going to be the first one, possibly pushing through the Viper smoke, but thinking better of it for the time being until Party Kid puts a wrench in that. And Party Kid! Look at that, a 3K coming out from the Viper on SJSU, and Choi Boy also unable to make a play happen. SJSU coming in a little rusty after the tech pause. CPP get themselves around.
Icing the kicker, cough, cough. That's what that is right there. I mean, SJSU, they're on such a roll, and they got to sit there for 5 minutes, 6 minutes. You know, granted, Cal Poly had to sit there for the same 6 minutes, so you don't get to use that as too much of an excuse. But look at the ult bank. Every single member of Cal Poly has their ultimate online. Their economy back into a good position. SJSU, they're going to have the lockdown, they're going to have the teleport, but if they lose this round, they're not going to have the bank.
Yeah, that's a big thing to point out, too. You want to make sure you got the bank. You want to make sure you got the money. Economy is massive in this game, folks. We cannot harp on it enough. And look at that. A big kill. Oh, my God, Cal Poly! Oh, my God, Cal Poly coming out of the tech pause, looking like a new squad, picking up double kill after double kill. And SJSU are left with 2 members to try and push onto the site. The one thing working in their favor is they have the spike in their control. But Steidel, that's the only thing working in their favor right now.
That's pretty much it. I mean, Showstopper comes out and it hits the Sage Wall again. I'm going to blame that one on ping for Aloha. And Bear now has to get a 3K. Ooh. They're going to make this happen. 41 health. They've got a dream, and it looks like they could get it, but 2 full health members sit between them and the plant.
Oh, and Bear was eyeing up the ace clutch. Couldn't pull it out. Cal Poly winning back-to-back rounds here as SJSU stumbling out the pause. Gonna have to find their footing as CPP. Even though they started incredibly weak here early in the game, you can see they are pulling themselves back. And they've tied their round score from last game, Steidel. And I want to point out, it feels like a very different game from game 1. But we're at the same rounds accumulated by CPP. And they could still be going up from here.
I mean, just look at the trades. Last time it was like 1 for 2 for 2 for 2 for 6. This time it's 4 for 1 for 4, 5 for 1 for 2. Like, they're making these huge runs. It's not, you know, let us take a round, you can have a round, we can take a round, you can take a round, we can take a round, we can take a round. It's completely across the board, either dominance or a little subservience.
Oh, odd. Just playing around a bit. Here's a Sova drone, steps out of line of sight, but still gets spotted, and that's going to be the Hunter's Fury opened up here onto the Sova from CPP. And while he's playing a Dotsido around the Hunter's Fury, Teddy's going to be picking up 1, picking up 2, dashes back. Aloha just trying to find anything, but the ping is going to make him the perfect bait, because that's going to mean Aloha gets, I mean, not Aloha, Disco gets a res off onto Odd. And even though Aloha
They're back. They're back.
Aloha's hanging out over in spawn, what matters is they're back in action. And this is a 3 vs 4 retake that's very much possible for Cal Poly, who have the gun advantage, folks. Keep that in mind. Look, Fig is sitting here with a Sheriff, and that's going to be all they have to try and put up a defense. But Bear, with the Spectre, alongside the utility, could be exactly what SJSU needs. And Cal Poly, afraid to lose what they've accumulated so far, going to be giving up quite a bit to try and get onto the spike. As Ray just looking to get the Phantom. Is he going to pay for that one little misstep? Is he going to get out of the line of sight in time? No. Bear and Aloha both die to Spike, and SJSU are not only on game point here, Steidel, they're on series point.
And this has got to be rough for Cal Poly. I mean, it's difficult with Aloha dealing, with that high ping, but such a good recovery and kind of compensation for that and the way that they've decided to change up playing. Instead of using Aloha too aggressively, kind of letting Aloha sit back a little bit, gives them a little bit more lifetime. But you use a lot of your ults in that last round. And San Jose State now have been able to work their ult bank into a good position to where they can bring these knives, the teleport, the lockdown, all to the table. If you don't stop this momentum quick, it's going to be over here and now.
You should run.
Oh, and that's going to be the Killjoy lockdown coming out alongside the Blade Storm. And with Fig taking down Ketchup, this is not looking good for Cal Poly. The defense really has a wrench thrown into their plans right now, having to go up against the offense with this lockdown. But Disco making it a heck of a lot easier, and that shot through the smoke was very close to hitting its mark. The Party Kid getting peeked at the worst possible time is going to give up their life. Ooh, I like the tech here from Disco, and Cal Poly. Look at how well they're retaking the site here, looking for round number 9. And that's going to be 1, that's going to be 2, and that's just leaving 1 member left alive for Bear. They have this possible in their sights, and Bear with the recon sees him through the wall, through the boxes, gets the spray kill, and that's going to be San Jose State taking the series 13-8 and winning out 2-0.
I'm just trying to figure out where that came from. That was insane. That last kill was so great. I mean, what a good display of the Sova so far from Bear. I mean, first we saw the jumping shock dart. And now look at this. Little recon dart gets the initial ping, hears it, flips, able to track and shoot through that final box. I mean, it's stellar Sova play coming in from Bear. And that's going to push SJSU to the finals. Cal Poly put up a good fight, but weren't able to punch their ticket through to the finals. So that means that SJSU is going to be facing off against, I believe it's UCI tonight. And that's going to be a pretty big matchup. UCI being one of the only teams that has been able to hand SJSU a loss.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point to bring up, because with UCI being such a powerhouse, it feels very fitting that we're going to be looking at a number 1 and a number 2 in this group, in this region, battling it out in the finals. But before we get to the finals, before we get to any more of that later on tonight, we need to get a chance to talk with one of the members of the victorious San Jose State University squad. And after a very brief break, my friends, we'll be back with that interview and lots of more fun. Welcome back to the stream, everybody. CF1, we have 3 faces showing off right now because one person in this trio just got themselves into the regional finals, and that's our friend Choi Boy coming in from San Jose State University. Choi Boy, congrats on taking the 2-0 here against Cal Poly. Now, I want to start it off by quickly asking, you started the series off in Ascent, and last time you guys played, this was a map that Cal Poly actually took off you guys. So coming into this series, how'd you guys feel, and especially after those map pick bans, how were you feeling?
I think one thing we tried changing up was playing Astra on Nasi, but after just talking through it, we decided to actually just switch it up and go back to his former, which is Omen, and we saw a splendid performance by him. And we were just trying to just take it slow and did kind of going back to our roots and how we were playing defaults and really just trading back and forth. And that was pretty much it, yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the first map real quick because coming into this on paper, SJSU, the superior team as far as their record goes and all of that. But Cal Poly's been this team that has been known to kind of just show up on maps out of nowhere. So what kind of gave you the most trouble on Ascent?
I think the biggest trouble was ourselves, honestly. I think most of the rounds were going our way, but there were the rounds where we kind of got overzealous and kind of overextended that gave just some clutches for them towards their side, or even just the man advantage towards them after we got the first pick or something simple as that. But we were able to just pick it back up towards the other side once we got our buy round and then just continue to win over there.
Yeah, momentum's been something that your team is very, very familiar with. And speaking of momentum, Icebox has been a map that you guys have continued to perform at a very high level on. I mean, last time you guys saw Cal Poly, it was 13-3. This time, taking it to a 13-8. So how did you feel about that? What was it that SJSU did, or sorry, that Cal Poly did differently to get those extra 5 rounds?
I would say it would have to be the pauses. I think we are a very momentum based. And because of that, we kind of just like our steam kind of just like started to slowly die down, and then because of that, we were just kind of like sluggish in a way, where we just try to kind of get antsy also. So we kind of just did the same thing towards Ascent, where we just try to go for rushes or something as simple as that, or when we do defaults, we just get picked off. But yeah, we were able to close it out.
All right.
I love that answer. I love hearing the "it's not them, it's me" kind of thing. And we're not talking about breakup here. We're talking about competition.
Yeah. It's fine in this.
Speaking of competition, speaking of all this, I want to end off the interview with one more question. Looking ahead, because later this evening at 8 p.m. Pacific time, we will be seeing you take on UCI. And this very much feels very fitting. You guys have been the 1 and 2 teams in your region for quite some time now. And while you guys dominated the first split, it's been UCI who's been dominating the second split. So going into the finals now, I want to know, is there any kind of game plan you have for UCI specifically? Or is it much more, we want to play our best game and we'll deal with whatever they throw at us in the moment?
Yeah, I think I would have to choose the latter. I think before, when we played against UC Irvine initially, it was just us kind of overcomplicating things and just having too much stuff. Like just thinking, oh, like they could do this, just too many thoughts processing. But we're just gonna play our game, and the best team will come out on top.
That's what we love to hear, my friend. And we wish you all the best of luck in the finals tonight. But before we sign off for the time being, I want to give you an opportunity to say any thank yous, plug anything, shout out anybody, as you guys got yourself the semifinals win and you're looking at the finals.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you to obviously just SJSU esports as a whole, with our manager, the president, and all my teammates, and also the fans. And I also want to say thank you to CPP for the amazing game and the pauses. I love them. And yeah, just tune in to us for later tonight. Appreciate it.
Well, friends, you guys heard it here. Cal Poly may have put up a heck of a fight, but San Jose State have booked their ticket to the regional finals and in the CF1 national playoffs. But tonight, they'll be taking on the likes of UC Irvine. That match is going to be happening tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure you come back here to this Twitch channel, CF1, and get all the college Valorant action that you need. Because trust me, this is going to be a hell of a matchup tonight that you won't want to miss. So on behalf of myself, Steidel, Juke, Lawrence, and everybody behind the screens, thank you for checking out this semifinal matchup, and we can't wait to see you tonight at 8 p.m. for our finals. We'll see you guys then.